Is Earth a testing ground, or is it a living nightmare? Wars, pandemics, poverty, and cruelty define our world. Ancient traditions, especially outside mainstream Abrahamic faiths, suggest a darker origin. Gnostics called the creator of this realm the Demiurge, a false god obsessed with control, trapping divine souls in material bodies. Most people unknowingly worship this entity, mistaking it for true divinity. Pain here isn't character building, it's the grinding misery of poverty, the despair of loss, and the horrors of war. Over 100 million lives lost in wars in the past century alone illustrate the systemic oppression, diseases, and natural disasters plaguing us. Does this design reflect a benevolent creator or a prison maximizing suffering? Time, our relentless tormentor, ensures decay and loss from birth to death. It corrodes youth, health, and hope. Despite this, many still believe suffering is redemptive. History shows millions enslaved and butchered, billions struggling to survive. Can this truly be God's plan? Modern technology may distract us, but it doesn't alleviate the daily suffering of billions. The fall of humanity is depicted not as moral failure but as deception and bondage to physical existence. Gnostic beliefs describe the material universe as a trap by the Demiurge, seen also in Hinduism's concept of Maya. Even myths like Prometheus's fire gift symbolize humanity's struggle against divine oppression. This world, they argue, is a prison, not a paradise. Suffering isn't educational, it's torment. Natural disasters, diseases, and violence are constants, thriving within the system. This isn't a divine plan, it's a grand deception. Historically, attempts to rise above have been met with brutal opposition. Revolutions crushed, innovators silenced, visionaries labeled heretics. The fall of humanity is an ongoing reality. From the burning of the Library of Alexandria to modern corporate greed, control systems keep humanity ignorant and divided. Esoteric teachings describe Earth as a spiritual prison. The cycle of birth and death, samsara, is seen not as progress but entrapment, with souls reincarnating without memory, facing new suffering each time. The architects of this prison, like the Demiurge and archons, maintain control. Systems of religion, politics, and economy enforce obedience and conformity. Religion, often a tool of enlightenment, can also be oppressive, emphasizing guilt and submission. Governments and economies exploit, while education and media distract from harsh realities. Human suffering generates energy harvested by these controlling forces. Every war, famine, and act of violence feeds the system. Most people unknowingly exist within this cycle, bombarded by propaganda to conform and never question the system. Historically, those exposing this reality were silenced, maintaining the status quo. Earth, as presented, is not just flawed, it's an efficient spiritual prison designed to trap and exploit souls. Ignorance is the foundation of a grand deception. Reincarnation, often seen as a path to enlightenment, is actually a cycle of captivity that ensnares souls in suffering. In Hinduism and Buddhism, samsara, birth, death, and rebirth, is an endless loop of misery. Enlightenment is the escape route, but achieving it is like solving a puzzle while blindfolded. Reincarnation wipes memories and forces souls to repeat suffering. Karma, a concept linked to reincarnation, justifies inequalities and traps individuals in cycles of guilt. The promise of spiritual progress through reincarnation is an illusion. Most people live and die without questioning, caught in a collective nightmare. This engineered nightmare creates divisions among humans, preventing awakening. This reality, a shared delusion, enslaves people. From birth, individuals are taught to accept the world as it is, with schools, religion, and media reinforcing control. Emotional manipulation, fear, guilt, and shame ensures compliance. This collective nightmare feeds on every war and crisis, keeping humanity divided and ignorant. The clear goal: maintain control and prevent awakening. Disasters like earthquakes and pandemics remind us of our fragility, fostering fear and helplessness. These events keep humanity focused on survival, preventing deeper questioning. This collective nightmare perpetuates itself through generational enforcement. Parents, teachers, and leaders unwittingly sustain the system, promising change while maintaining the status quo. If you've enjoyed the video, I'd be thrilled if you could show your support by hitting the like button. Thank you. Escape has always been elusive. Philosophers like Socrates, mystics like Rumi, and revolutionaries like Spartacus exposed deeper truths but faced harsh punishments. The system doesn't just resist dissent, it punishes those who attempt to awaken others. Time, often romanticized, is a tool of control. Early civilizations used time to organize life, but it became a means to structure society and wield power. Industrialization commodified time, enslaving millions. Time creates the illusion of progress, justifying complacency while cycles of suffering and exploitation repeat. Suffering generates energy, deliberately harvested and consumed by the system. Governments wage wars, corporations exploit workers, and hierarchies maintain inequality. Media outlets flood us with fear and anger, while social media amplifies envy and loneliness. These aren't side effects. They're designed to keep humanity divided and controlled. The energy of suffering doesn't disappear. Some traditions suggest it is consumed by entities beyond our perception. The pharmaceutical industry profits from illness, and the military-industrial complex benefits from war. Even charities create dependency instead of solving problems. These are strategies to profit from human misery. Stories like Sisyphus and Prometheus represent systems that make attempts to escape futile. These patterns repeat across cultures and time as reflections of systems designed to ensnare humanity. This journey has led us to a deeper understanding of the systems that perpetuate our suffering. Awareness is the first step toward change. By recognizing the patterns and mechanisms of control, we can begin to break the invisible chains. This collective nightmare ends when we choose to act consciously instead of submitting to it. Together, we can build a fairer and brighter world for future generations.